the face diaper, the obedience face diaper, the mask hole, the mask, the barrier worn comically by people who think it is somehow blocking viral transmission when you can smell things and you are aware of things, but they wear it for reasons that I will explain. They wear it underneath their nose, they wear it underneath their chin. There is something about the pulling on the ears and the surrounding the collection about the face that does something. It signals something. It's swaddling. It's virtue signaling to an extent. It's complacency. It's compliance. That's right. I'm going to put this up. It's compliance. We'll get to that in a moment because right now, as you can tell, I'm excited about this. When people are concerned about pandemics and viruses, as they should be by virtue of what they are, and yet have no understanding of what is happening to the rest of the world, I will never understand this. I will never be able to understand truly how these same people can miss completely what is happening regarding the end of the world and what we are seeing. Do you ever remember in your life hearing more about fires and forest fires and brush fires and riots and civil unrest? Now we're talking about EMP grid attacks, EMP terrorism, perhaps. Labor strikes. Look at what's happening with AFTRA. Look what's going on with the unions. Look what's going on with Hollywood. Boycotts and shutdowns and terrorism and tsunamis and hurricanes and cyclones and supply chain collapses, COVID lockdowns, shelter in place, climate lockdowns, contaminated gas in Florida, diesel and regular being somehow contaminating, malware, ransomware. Remember what they did to filling stations and gas stations? Chinese surveillance balloons, they say, will be the perfect platform to release an EMP attack. Executive orders and signing statements that will suspend, modify, if not remove altogether, civil laws, martial law, real seditious conspiracy and insurrection. And not to mention people who, once they feel that there is no law and order, once they feel that all is lost, this is the opposite of the Hawthorne effect, where people basically comport and modify behavior when they're being watched. They also do the same things when they're not being watched, when there's no rules and regulations, when there's no police. My dear friend, this is not hyperbole. This is not a bunch of talk. This is about getting ready for what most certainly will be a domestic form of tumult, cataclysm at levels that some of which we cannot prepare for, but we can regarding food. Preparewithlionel.com. I have never been more serious, and has there ever been anything as obvious as what I'm telling you. Go right now and you can save $200 off a 3-month supply. I believe in this. These are the finest products available at My Patriot Supply, but go to preparewithlionel.com, preparewithlionel.com, and do the right thing for you and your family, my friends. I have been a psychologist, amateur. I have a degree in psychology, whatever that means. I've been a criminal lawyer. I know more about aberrant behavior than you can imagine. I like quirk and I like behaviors and I like patterns and mythology and habit, and I just love it. And I noticed something that I never thought ever even remotely possible as to the murmurations, the movements. Those are those wonderful movements of starlings, those murmurations, those bird, those human. They look like Rorschach tests, like flying, beautiful, symmetrical symphonies of birds. It's just beautiful, flying back and forth. Gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. And they fly in unison like that to conserve energy, but also to fool predators for a lot of reasons. And that's what humans do too. And something happens also with social media. Social media unlocks, unleashes, unchannels this demonstrative part of what they do, this thing that they do, where they want to proudly announce to the world, look at me, I'm wearing a mask. This is as close to any kind of voluntary obeisance, any inclusion in this murmuration, this brigade, this battalion of humans. I don't know how these things work. I don't know if they are effective. I will, as I said, I will wear them underneath my nose. What is the, where do you think the virions attacked? What are you doing? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'll wear it under my chin. I'll wear it. Sometimes the cool thing is do is to wear it here. Look, I've got my mask here. Yeah. Before people had their boosters and they'd be on Facebook. Look at me. Look, I'm poked. I'm jabbed. I'm a part of this. I'm compliant. I'm complacent. I'm voluntarily submitting myself to what we call biomedical tyranny and or martial law. I don't care about that, but the mask. Oh, the mask. And then they had designer masks, even more porous, even more thin, even more allowing and permeable to viruses and the like. I used to always tell people, say, hey, you smell that? Yeah. I said, well, your mask doesn't work. If you're smelling molecules from fires, I don't know what to tell you. And it was part and parcel of a behavior that some people loved because it also allowed for the emergence of the Karen. It allowed for this horrid person to come forward and scream and yell because you weren't 6 feet away. You weren't standing on the adhesive in the store line. You were daring to take your basket, your buggy down the lane, down the aisle of the store, the wrong direction, because as you know, SARS-CoV-2 molecules and viruses will only attack if you are going in the correct direction or if you're not going in the correct direction. Double masking, triple masking, N95s, snouts. People to this day who walk around hoodies, mask, invisibility, throw in dark sunglasses and they disappear. I disappear, while all the while maintaining my public statement as to compliance, submission, and the like, whether it works or not. Fauci came out initially and said, this is really done, that's used in hospitals basically to keep us from sneezing into wounds, but it's not. And then it became something else. People fought. You don't need a mask. Are you sure? Are you sure? Well, I would prefer you wear a mask. It's over with. It's not over with. No, it's over. It's not. I was in charge. I was somebody. I felt I could control my behavior, my world. I was someone. I had meaning, a purpose. It was my uniform. I was someone. Don't you understand? Don't you understand how this thing works? Don't you understand who I am, what I stand for, what this is about? Don't take this away from me. How dare you? You think I'm exaggerating, don't you? You think I'm exaggerating. You think this guy's crazy. Oh, no. You have no idea what that paper, that thin paper over the ears and behind the back. And sometimes they had clips. You can wear the clips to make sure the adhesion to your face. We're not 1 centimeter of exposed skin could ever experience the air. Clips back here, clips. Then people wore the welder's mask, and the double mask. The welder's visor. They can work in a foundry and the double mask. And if there was a way somehow to cover up the eyes or to look like somebody who had been who had survived a cave accident. You know, they bring them out, you know, with the eyes covered. I mean, this is it. And to this day, in my life, and I've seen some terrible things. I've seen murders, I've seen horror, I've seen man's inhumanity to man in ways and at levels I never thought possible. But to me, the number one sheer example of absolute lunacy are people who still drive in their own cars alone wearing a mask. Dear God. Oh my God. I thank you, my friends. If you want to talk about disaster that you can prevent, go to preparewithlionel.com. I almost forgot about it. Preparewithlionel.com. It's right there. Save $200 off a 3-month emergency food kit. I've got the link here because I'm telling you, I guarantee you, there will come a time when you will say, thank you. My family thanks you. We have food. We listened to you. And we never thought we'd be in this position, but we're thankful that we have emergency food in the greatest country, allegedly, theoretically, in the world. All right, dear friends, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Hit that little bell so you're notified of live streams, and like the video, and please comment as you see fit.